Josh Parker was not your average 11-year-old. While most kids spent their afternoons playing video games or skateboarding at the park, Josh had a different kind of fun. He loved exploring strange and interesting places in his neighborhood. Every corner held a new adventure. One warm Friday afternoon, just after school, Josh was walking home when something caught his eye. A bright, colorful poster was fluttering on the community bulletin board. Big letters at the top read, "The Great Puzzle Pandemonium," and just below that, "Solve the Unsolvable, Win the Improbable." Josh's heart gave a little jump. An unsolvable puzzle and a mysterious, improbable prize? This sounded exciting. He had to know more. The rules were simple. Solve the puzzle before Saturday evening, and the winner would get a whole year's supply of the town's best chocolate. But there was a catch: it was known to be extremely hard, and even the smartest adults couldn't solve it. With a huge grin, Josh ripped off one of the entry forms and dashed home. He had a mission. As soon as Josh got home, he emptied out his backpack onto his bed. Out came his sketchbooks, crayons, calculator, and a packet of Gummy Wormsh's favorite thinking snack. He sat at his desk, put on his thinking cap, an old hat that belonged to his dad, which Josh believed gave him super smart ideas, and looked closely at the puzzle sheet. It was filled with riddle-strange and tricky questions, with rhymes, clues, and odd shapes that all connected together. The first line read, "A twist of words, a turn of phrase, find the path through the maze." Josh read it over and over again. Then he took a deep breath, picked up a crayon, and started to work. But after an hour of scribbles, doodles, gummy worms, and deep thinking, Josh realized something important. He couldn't do it alone. Josh grabbed his old flip phone and called his two best friends, Sam and Ellie. They had been part of all his best adventures. In just a few minutes, Sam and Ellie arrived, out of breath and full of excitement. "We saw the poster too," Sam said, his jacket pockets stuffed with snacks. "We knew you'd already be working on it," Ellie added, dropping her backpack onto the floor. It was full of books about riddles and puzzles. The three friends piled into Josh's room and got to work. Sam was great at logic, Ellie loved playing with words, and Josh had a big imagination. Together, they made the perfect team. The room filled with energy and laughter. They scribbled ideas on paper, crossed out wrong answers, and shared snacks. Some clues were solved quickly, but others took time, and some were just plain strange. One of the riddles talked about a singing fish. The friends looked at each other, confused. "Wait, do we need to find a fish that can sing?" Josh asked. So, of course, they went to the local pet store. The three of them stood in front of the goldfish tanks, watching the fish swim around. They waited quietly, hoping to hear one of them sing. "I think that one just hummed," Sam whispered seriously. After a few silly minutes of staring at fish tanks, Ellie giggled. "Maybe it's just a metaphor." The three of them burst into laughter, drawing funny looks from the store staff. Back at Josh's house, they sat down again, this time even more determined. They knew the puzzle was hard, really hard, but they weren't giving up. Each clue brought them closer to the final answer, and they were having the time of their lives solving it together. The room was a mess of papers, books, candy wrappers, and crayon marks. But none of that mattered. They were on a real adventure, and they were just getting started. Time was running out. Josh and his friends had solved almost all the clues in the puzzle pandemonium. But now, they were stuck on the very last one, a strange poem that talked about the hour of the Mad Hatter. The three friends sat in Josh's room, thinking hard. They read the poem over and over again, twisting the words around, hoping something would make sense. The room was quiet, except for the sounds of scribbling and sighing. Josh put his thinking cap back on. "Let's think like the Mad Hatter," he said, trying to stay hopeful. What would a Mad Hatter do at the 11th hour? Drink tea, lots of tea, Sam joked, grinning. Josh's eyes lit up. Wait a second. Tea. Time. That's it. The 11th hour means 11 o'clock. It's about time. The three friends jumped up and ran to the old grandfather clock in the hallway. It was tall and quiet, with its pendulum swinging slowly back and forth. They looked closely, and that's when Ellie spotted something odd. There's a little lever here, she whispered, pointing to a tiny piece of wood hidden on the side. Could it be? She added, eyes wide. Josh reached out and pulled the lever. Click, whir, a hidden compartment slid open. Inside was a small antique key and a folded note that read, "The answer is in the attic." Hearts pounding, the three friends raced up the stairs to the attic. The air was dusty, and old boxes filled with forgotten things surrounded them. Everything was quiet until they saw it. There, sitting in the corner, was a beautifully decorated box with a little keyhole. Josh carefully put the key in and turned it. Click, the lid creaked open. Inside was a shiny golden ticket, glowing under the dim light. Josh picked it up and read aloud, "Congratulations, you've won." They had done it. The three friends jumped up and down, laughing and cheering. They had solved every riddle, cracked every clue, and unlocked the final treasure. The impossible puzzle wasn't so impossible after all, not with creativity, teamwork, and a little bit of silliness. Just then, Josh's mom peeked into the attic. "What on earth is going on up here?" she asked, smiling at the noise. Josh held up the golden ticket with a proud grin. "We solved the puzzle pandemonium, Mom." That evening, Josh, Sam, and Ellie had a celebration unlike any other. They made tea, because, of course, the Mad Hatter would have tea, told jokes, munched on cookies, and dreamed up their next big adventure. And best of all, there was a whole year of chocolate waiting for them. The puzzle pandemonium had come to an end, but their story was just beginning.